and today we're gonna be starting out a legacy challenge. Well, yes and no. I spent an entire afternoon recording the first episode of the Decades Challenge, and I lost all of my recorded footage. My screen was not recording, so all I had was my face and my voice, and you can't do a video like that. So I decided that I would be talking over the video that I'm going to be showing you right now, because the stuff that happened while I was recording the previous time was so special and so like out of the blue, and you can't repeat the stuff that happened, that I didn't feel like restarting the legacy, if you get what I mean. Like, I could have just started a new save file, but I didn't feel like that was the appropriate thing to do. So you will be seeing a speed build of me renovating their house, and while you see that, you're gonna hear me talking about what happened, because I remember vividly. So let's get started. So our heirs are called Howard and Emma Collins. I made a couple. I will be explaining more about the rules of the Decades Challenge when I actually get into gameplay. I'm going to be cleaning those rules then. But basically, the first generation starts in the 1890s, and the heir has to be a male, so it's Howard, and I also made his wife, Emma. There are a lot of specific rules about the different types of jobs that your Sims are allowed to have, and I made Howard a teacher. So that was the first thing I did. And then I made Emma plant some stuff because we are living in Hinford Bagley. I have not experimented with the cottage living pack before this Let's Play, so I wanted to try it out. I planted some oversized crops, I planted fruits and vegetables. One of the lot challenges was the thing about you having to have the ingredients to cook, so that's why one of the first things I did was plant things. And then after that, Emma met some birds. She went and talked to some birds, and it was a very nice experience. It was really adorable, her talking to the birds and the birds talking back to her. And Howard met a bunny, and I named it Toast. I named the bunny Toast. I will insert the footage of me talking to the bunny right now. Wait. It's a bunny. Oh my god, he's so funny. Can I pet him? Do you let me pet you? So as you can see, I was very excited to be talking to Toast. My brother told me that in Minecraft, if you name a bunny Toast, it will become an evil bunny, but this is not Minecraft, and I'm definitely sure that Toast will not be an evil bunny because he's the most adorable thing I have ever seen. And then the welcome wagon arrived, and so I made sure they were nice hosts and greeted everyone and talked, and the welcome wagon's usual stuff, nothing much. But while that was going on, I got a notification thing that told me that I received 50,000 simoleons. So as you can tell, I was very excited about that, because I forgot to mention, but we started out with our couple with about 780 simoleons, because I used the money that they had to build them their house. So it was a very, very empty house, just the essentials: a bed, kitchen, fireplace, just like normal things, basic things, and they were only left with 700 simoleons. So receiving 50,000 simoleons was a big deal, and you can see why I didn't want to restart this challenge with another save file, because when am I ever going to be receiving 50,000 simoleons? That's basically impossible. And the 50,000 simoleons were used for this speed build that you're seeing right now. As you can see, I'm renovating the house, putting wallpaper, putting nice things to make the house look good. I did give myself like a limit to like 20,000 simoleons left for them to use. I did go over that just a little bit, but I don't think that's that big of a deal, and their house looks cool, I think. I did change some things after this speed build, so the final product here will not be the final product that you see in the next episode of this challenge. After that, after receiving those 50,000 simoleons, I made Howard do the things that he was required to do for his job. One of the things he had to do was go on the research machine and research about a certain topic. So I had to go looking for that machine, because obviously I could not afford that machine. And their house, as part of the rules of the challenge, it has to be off the grid. So I wasn't sure even if I did have the money, if it would work in their house because it has to be off the grid. So I went looking. I went to one of the libraries in one of the worlds. I don't remember exactly which one, and I couldn't find it. So I had to do some research online as to where I could find one. And there are the research machines in the library in the University Park. I don't remember what the name of the city is. I went there and he did his research. It took a lot longer than I expected, and he was tired and hungry, and we didn't have any food at home because, as I said, they can only cook with ingredients that they already have. So they didn't have any ingredients because it was their first day in the house. So I took Howard to the pub and Henfredo Bagley, and I also brought Emma so that she could eat there too. The process was very glitchy and it took a very long time, and by the time that they actually started eating their food, it was 6 a.m. Yes, you heard me correctly. It was 6 a.m. and it took forever, but they managed to eat all their food. And while he was eating, he got a call to go to work. And obviously I wasn't gonna take him to work because he was dead. He was like almost, his energy bar was almost completely empty. I didn't want him to go to work to just, pass out and not do anything. So I made him work from home. But then the requirement for him to work was to tutor someone online. And I'm supposed to be playing as if it was the 1890s. How in the world is he supposed to tutor someone online if there's no internet or no computer? So I'm gonna figure that out in the next episode. But there's that. So after they finished eating, I went to take them home, and I kid you not, it took 4 real life minutes to get them to go home. They would not obey me. I would tell them go home, and they said, oh, I'm gonna watch TV. He can't even watch TV because of the challenge. But I'm gonna go talk to someone, and they'd go home. And they would not go home. Like, Howard literally passed out while trying to go home because he was so tired, but he wouldn't go home. He would start walking and then decide not to and walk the other way. And it was a mess. It was a huge mess. And it took me 4 literal real life minutes for them to get home. So you can imagine how long that would take in Sims time. I eventually got them to go home. And then I went to take care of their needs. So I made him, Howard, go straight to bed, obviously. And then I made Emma take a shower. So that is basically how the episode went. That doesn't sound like much because it obviously wasn't. It was just one day. And how did I spend a whole entire afternoon just recording one day in The Sims? My computer was having some problems, but now it is fixed. All the lagging and all of the things will not happen anymore. But because of the lagging that happened, going from one place to another, having to travel from here to there, takes forever when your computer is lagging. That's why it took a whole entire afternoon for me to be able to do just one day in The Sims. But that is basically it. That's what happened, and I'm sorry that you won't be seeing what happened, but it's also a good thing that you won't be seeing the episode that I recorded, because when I went to look back at the footage, you could only see about half of my face because I was, crouching and looking at the screen. I didn't have a good setup. I'm still learning to know how to set up the camera so that you can see me better. I didn't have a good setup, so you could only see half of my face. So it's a good thing that I lost the recorded footage because I would still have to record it again. So I hope you're satisfied with my explanation of what happened. I know it's not as fun as actually seeing what's going on, but since it was just one day in The Sims, not much happened. So you didn't miss much. So the next episodes will be a lot better. But I wish you could have seen Howard talk toast. It was so adorable. Receiving those 50,000 simoleons was a very big deal. A very big deal. And without that, you would not have this speed build. So yeah, that's basically it. I did this build before they came out with the update where they gave all the swatches, the new swatches to the base game, and they updated the flour prices. So that's why I changed some things after I recorded the speed reel, because I wanted to use the update to my advantage. I didn't change much, just a couple things here and there. I think I added a chess table, if I remember correctly. In this video, I think you will probably realize that I ended up putting 2 easels. I only realized that afterwards, so I deleted one of them because you don't need 2 of them. Another thing, I don't know if you realize, but the first minute or so of this video is all really like laggy and glitchy. That's because I recorded my screen with my computer with the problem that was before, all laggy. So the things that I recorded actually were like, let's say it was on like 1 frame and it stayed on that frame for like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it popped to another frame. Like I could be like clicking on the bed and then it would stay like clicked on the bed for like 10 minutes, and then it would be like me changing the tree or something like that. And so I had to obviously cut that out. So there's that. But then obviously I changed my computer, so now you can see me actually doing things. So that problem won't be happening anytime soon, hopefully. And yeah, that is it. I don't have anything else to say about the episode that I recorded, so I will just comment on the things that I am doing on this house. This house was a lot of fun to make. As you can see, I made 4 bedrooms, but I will probably change that in the future. The toddler room is super small. I might change it to be just 3 bedrooms instead of 4 bedrooms. That'll happen in the future, not anytime soon. You might also have noticed that I use toilets in this house. The rules for this challenge say that in the 1890s you're not supposed to have toilets, but I found that a little bit weird, so I did my research, and there were toilets in the 1890s. They existed. They were just fancier than the ones we have now, and they had a special mechanism, and that's the kind of toilet that you have in The Sims. It's part of the Vampire Pack, because the Vampire Pack is Edwardian Victorian style. So I was like, I'm gonna put toilets in their house because it existed already, and I think they deserve toilets. So they have toilets. You might also have noticed that I put a fridge, but it's not a fridge. It's an icebox. I'm pretty sure it's from Cottage Living. Fridges obviously did not exist in the 1890s, but ice boxes did. And so how the ice box works is you have to put ice in to fill it up, so that the food can like be preserved and all that kind of stuff. Just how a normal ice box works, except it's shaped like a fridge. That's a very convenient thing for me, because I was worried about how the food would spoil and all that kind of stuff. So having an icebox is very handy dandy. In the next episode, we will be buying chickens and a cow so that we can have, eggs and milk to use in our recipes. I also got some knitting and cross-stitching stuff for Emma to do, as a good Edwardian woman would know how to do. And she might also earn some money from that. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I did put the laundry stuff. I have not actually done any laundry in The Sims before, so this is gonna be my first time doing it, and I'm very excited about it. We're getting close to the end of this video here, and now you will see the screenshots I took of the place, so you have a better understanding of what was going on. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making this house, and I had a lot of fun recording the previous episode, even though you don't see it. Hope you had fun too, at least hearing the stories. I hope to see you around for the next episode, where we will have the real deal fun, not just me talking about all the fun. And I hope you can stick around with us to see Howard and Emma's story and how they progress over time, and all of their offspring, and not just this decade's challenge, but all of my other videos that I will be uploading in the near future. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!